Listen carefully, because this story did not begin with sin. It began with hunger. She was born in a village where the red earth cracked under the sun, and the nights were quiet enough to hear your own worries breathing. No midwife sang for her birth. No drum announced her arrival. She arrived quietly. Like a burden the world had already decided it did not need. Her mother died when she was still learning how to pronounce sorrow. Her father survived, but only in body. Each day he sat outside their mud house, staring at the road like a man waiting for something that had already passed him by. By the age of 12, she understood something many never learn. Poverty is not loud. It is patient. It waits. It waited as she fetched water before dawn. It waited as she went to bed with an empty stomach and told herself sleep was food. It waited while she watched other girls leave the village with hope in their eyes and sandals on their feet. She had neither. When people speak of destiny, they forget to mention how cruel it can be. To those who start with nothing, by the time she became a woman, she had already learned how to endure. But endurance does not pay rent, and dignity does not buy food. The first time hunger truly defeated her, she did not cry. She simply went quiet, and silence is where danger began. The first man did not look dangerous. They never do. He spoke softly. He smiled easily. He counted money slowly, as if to make sure she saw every note. She told herself it would only be once. Just once. Just enough to survive. Afterward, she washed herself until the water ran cold. She sat alone in the dark, knees pulled to her chest, and promised the ancestors it would never happen again. But poverty heard that promise and laughed the second time. She did not cry afterward. She stared at the ceiling and counted how many days the money would last. The third time, she learned how to disconnect her mind from her body. She learned how to leave herself behind and return only when it was over. That was the moment something unseen noticed her. Because when a person begins to treat themselves as an object, there are forces in this world. They're always ready to agree. She did not know she was being observed, not by men alone, but by eyes that had no faces and intentions older than the village itself. She thought she was selling her body. She did not know she was advertising her disappearance. Money began to come more too easily. Men she had never seen before asked for her by description, not by name. Men who did not touch her with desire, but with assessment. They asked strange questions.
Does anyone look for you? Do you have family? Would anyone ask where you went if you left town?
She laughed them off, thinking it was curiosity. But curiosity does not whisper behind closed doors. Curiosity does not arrive in groups. Curiosity does not meet elders at night, somewhere beyond her hearing. Men spoke her name like an ingredient. They spoke of debts. They spoke of protection. They spoke of spirits that demanded proof of loyalty. And they spoke of her as if she were already gone. In villages like hers, disappearances are not always mysterious. Sometimes they are negotiated, and the most valuable offerings are those no one will claim. The agreement was not written. It never is. It was spoken over cola nut and bitter drink. It was sealed with silence and fear. It was justified with excuses that sounded like wisdom. She has no one. She is already lost. The spirits will protect us all. Her life was reduced to balance. What she did not know was that the night she accepted an invitation for easy money, her fate had already been weighed. Not every sacrifice knows they are walking to the altar. Not every victim hears the drum before it begins. That evening, the wind moved strangely through the trees. Dogs refused to sleep. An owl cried where it should not have been. These were warnings. But warnings mean nothing to those who have learned not to expect mercy. She dressed simply that night. She did not want attention. She never did. As she walked, she felt a heaviness she could not explain, like the air itself was resisting her steps. The path led away from the village, toward a place people avoided without admitting why. Torches flickered ahead. Voices lowered when she approached. No one met her eyes. The priest did not ask her name. He already knew it. The drums did not start immediately. They waited, as if even they were unsure. She stood there, confused, uneasy, just beginning to understand that something was wrong. And then the realization came. Too late to save her. Not every scream is heard. Not every soul leaves quietly. By morning, the path would be empty, and the village would wake up pretending nothing had happened, because it's easier to live with blood on the ground than truth in the mouth.
The land refused it. Elders would later warn the young ones. Not all money is blessing. Not all sacrifices bring protection. And not every spirit accepts silence as apology. Because some nights, when the moon is thin and the wind remembers old paths, a woman is still seen walking alone. And those who understand the signs close their doors, hold their breath, and remember, she sold herself to survive. They sold her to the spirits. And the spirits are still watching. They settle. They move quietly from one generation to the next, like a story no one wants to remember, but no one is allowed to forget. Children born years later began to show signs. They cried at night without reason. They pointed at empty corners and whispered names no one had taught them. Some were born sickly. Others grew strong but restless, unable to remain in the village for long. Those whose parents had accepted the blood money noticed something terrifying. Their lineage no longer prospered. Businesses failed. Marriages collapsed. Sons wandered and never returned. Daughters dreamed of drowning in red earth. The elders understood then. The payment had not ended with her life. It had only begun. Time exposes everything. The men who once justified the sacrifice began to age quickly, as though carrying invisible weight. Some confessed on their deathbeds, speaking her name between gasps, begging forgiveness from a woman who no longer had breath. Others went mad. They spoke to shadows. They argued with reflections. They claimed she sat beside them at night, patient and unblinking. The village tried cleansing rituals. They poured libations. They slaughtered goats and chickens. But guilt cannot be washed away with blood. It was a choice. One season, the rains refused to come. Crops failed. The stream dried. Hunger returned. The same hunger that had begun everything. The elders gathered under the baobab tree, older now, weaker, desperate. They agreed on something unthinkable. The spirits would not release them until the truth was acknowledged openly. At midnight, they returned to the crossroads. They called her name aloud for the first time. They spoke it without fear of being heard. The wind answered, the air thickened, and those present felt it. A presence that did not rage, did not shout, did not demand, only waited. The priest fell first, not dead, but exposed. His voice failed him. His staff cracked in half. The symbols he wore turned against him. One by one, those who had benefited most lost what they loved most. Some lost children, some lost sanity, some lost the will to live. This was not cruelty. This was balance. The spirits do not seek revenge. They seek accounting. And the village learned, too late, that silence is not repentance. Today, the village still stands, but it is quieter than it should be. Some pans are never used. Some stories are never told fully. Some names are spoken only in whispers. They say the curse weakened when the truth was finally spoken, but it never left. Because some debts are not meant to be erased, only remembered. And when young women now face hunger, elders pull them close and say, do not sell yourself to survive, because others may sell you for more. And somewhere beyond the village, at a crossroads that still remembers her footsteps, the spirits listen, watching, waiting.